So as I'm sure you already know, the Splash Mountain attraction is going to receive a retheme and be themed on The Princess and the Frog. I kind of just wanted to take a closer look at the concept art and see what changes are in store that we can expect. So first up, let's go ahead and define which Splash Mountain this concept art takes place at. So it's actually fairly easy to tell that this concept art takes place in Disney World. We can tell it's not Disneyland because there's no rock slide on top of this roof. Also, the people are seated side by side and not in line. Even though the logs have side by side seating, we know it's not Tokyo due to the direction the logs are traveling. Also, it hasn't been confirmed whether or not Tokyo's Splash Mountain will change yet. So let's go ahead and take a top-down approach, and we'll start with the tree. In the concept art, the log actually comes out of the living tree. Currently, the logs come out of a cave that is beneath a dead tree. So they're going to have to convert some of the rock work into tree work. Now let's take a look at the wooden structure. Currently I assume it to be a mill because it has a water wheel as well as packages of salt, sugar, and flour. This seems like it'll no longer be the case for the Princess and the Frog attraction because there's no longer a water wheel next to it. In the concept art there is now a lantern present which wasn't there at Disney World. However, it is at Disneyland. The next obvious change is the briar patch. The thick wooden leafy branches are no longer present. The bulk of the area seems to now just be some kind of swamp grass with a few fallen branches. There does seem to be a little bit of thorny plant life still though. The next thing I want to talk about is the figures of Tiana and Louis. I do not expect these figures to be present in the attraction and believe that they're just some added flavor to the concept art. My reasoning for this is that they'd be out in the sun all day long, and they would fade really fast and require much more maintenance. Maybe if they were static figures, I would see that being a capability, but with Louis being positioned to play the trumpet, it would probably animated if this was the case, so I definitely don't expect to see these guys. Also, all the people in the boat seem to be rather disinterested in their presence. It's almost like they're not even there. However, I think it is possible that maybe the boat with the Mardi Gras props is present. Next up, I want to talk about all the Fireflies. I do not expect Fireflies to be bobbing around like you see in Pirates of the Caribbean, and that's because the way that effect is pulled off is with lights dangling on a wire, and it would be too obvious in this amount of daylight, at least for any Fireflies that are nearby. I do believe, however, that maybe in the canopies of trees or near the bark, they could pull this off in a very convincing way, but they'll probably only be on at night. Lastly, I want to talk a little bit more about the foreground area. So we see that there's a tree on the left and the right. And at first I was wondering if there was even room for this, but from this angle you can see there's actually quite a bit of space, so I do believe these trees may be present. And it'll definitely help with the atmosphere of the Louisiana swamp that they're going for. Well, I hope you enjoyed this closer look at the concept art for the upcoming Princess and the Frog attraction. If you did, a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. Also, to help me grow, please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Even though I'm definitely going to miss Splash Mountain, I always do enjoy some new experiences. Until next time.